Welcome to Face, Connor.
Great. Can you hear me?
Can hear you, buddy.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if I can keep up with Steve, though. That was Econ 400 there.
Yeah, well, you could, what they say, you could audit his class here almost every day.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the beauty of ForexAnalytix, right?
Yeah. So if you want to share your screen, there's a green box.
Cool. Yeah, I've used Zoom a couple times, so I think
Okay.
I do see a share icon.
Okay.
Um, cool. You should
Got
be
you.
able to see it.
All right. So, Connor, I know the reason you're here, but perhaps we could just start with a little bit about your journey into the
Sure.
market. So why don't you tell us how it started for you and how you ended up here with Danny and the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it, and for everyone who's being here, very much appreciative. And we're happy to be working with the ForexAnalytix team. In terms of my personal journey, gosh, I've been in the markets now probably almost 15 years, and I started. I'm based out of Chicago, Illinois. So if there's any Chi-Town people here, had
Well,
Great
I
Bears.
am.
Oh, good man. Great Bears win last night, right?
Oh yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
nice. Maybe they finally have a quarterback eventually. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
know,
We'll
but
see.
but
Two
anyway, yeah. So I'm from there. Grew up in Skokie. Used to run on the floor, and was an out trade clerk at the old Merc. Probably before you were born.
That's right. I remember us talking about this before.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm a South Side guy, so I'm the
Oh, yeah. I
opposite
was
side of
too
town.
until we moved.
Oh, perfect. Good.
Yeah,
So
South
there you
Shore
go.
Country Club, Stony Island, but I guess you could imagine why we moved.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I get it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
buddy. So,
Yeah.
all right.
So
So, did you spend any time on the floor when you got started, or
yeah.
what was
So
your first job in the business?
right. So my genesis was I actually was in college, and then I was working like many people do in Chicago. For those that aren't familiar, and when the pits were the trading pits at the Chicago Board of Trade or at CME Group were very populated back then. I'll say, essentially, what happened was a lot of people that were in college. I'll just call it what it was. It was a lot of nepotism, right? You knew
Yeah,
somebody
right,
or had an uncle or whatever that worked down there, and you would get a job as what was called a runner. And a runner was basically just that. You literally basically ran errands, while the guys were trading in the pit. They didn't want to leave and miss any opportunities. So you would kind of run some errands, you would do some administrative work.
Oh
Um,
well,
and
you're a runner even later because the runner's job used to be to take the paper out to the pit.
right. And that was a big part of it still. No
Oh,
problem.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
So it was
but
still getting orders from different
right.
brokerage firms. Okay,
Yeah, exactly. And you were basically running the orders from, whoever was taking the order on the
yep,
phone from the brokerage firm. You were running that into the pit, handing it to whoever you worked for, your broker, and then they were
right.
going in and executing the trades.
Did you
Um,
ever notice they were always a little more interested in orders that had STP at the end of it?
yeah, exactly right.
All right, buddy, go
I
ahead.
did notice that. Yeah. So from there, you graduate up to a clerk. A clerk, you kind of clear the trades. At the end of the day, you reconcile the book, etc. So I did that for a few years, and then went to work for a brokerage firm actually outside of that. And this is when things were really moving to the screen. So when they were moving to the screen, I worked for a market strategist at a futures brokerage firm. And for those that don't know, we're talking about futures right now, not forex.
Right,
And essentially got kind of an orientation, a little more in depth in terms of the analysis side of the business and market strategy and charting and all of those things. And he would put out a newsletter to his clients, et cetera, every day, and picks and suggestions. And this was back when you were paying a broker big money on either side, talking $50 a side, to execute a trade or, more than that for that kind of advice. So it was definitely, they called it broker assist back then, but
yeah,
But that was a big part of it before, the proliferation of day trading and self-directed.
They assisted you converting your equity into commissions.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They never,
Guilty.
exactly. Oh, we all are, right?
All right.
Yeah. It wasn't a performance-based job for everybody.
The old inherent conflict of interest in the brokers.
Exactly.
They used to have a commercial counter that would run on CNBC, and it was based on the unknown comic from the Gong Show. So it would show a guy with a bank of phones and wearing
Right.
a paper bag over his face, and every phone was, "Sounds good, let's do it. Sounds good, let's do it. Sounds
Right.
good, let's do it." Everything sounded good.
I actually just I read something yesterday that was, and I forget where it was or what it was from. And actually, I think it was a book that somebody wrote that was recommended to me about Wall Street. And this was Wall Street in New York, but the same concept. And essentially, it was all the investment bankers and all of the brokers had all of their yachts. And he asked, where's the customers' yachts? And essentially, it was like, well, the customers don't have yachts.
Yeah, they used to.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So
anyways,
okay. War stories. I don't. I have a problem shutting up sometimes. So
no,
I really want everyone that's here and that watches this video later, Connor. A lot of traders may have skills, but they don't have capital. So to get to point A to point B, people ask me, Dale, can I make a living? Can I trade for a living with 10K? And I say, yes, if you're willing to live under an underpass. So, prop trading programs are a great bridge for someone to be funded and have a chance to really make a living, because let's face it, it's easier to make money with more money than less. So why don't you tell us, maybe we should just dig into your prop trading program here and let people know how it works.
Right, absolutely. And just briefly before I do that, I will say, so people don't think that my expertise is just at a clerk level. I then went to work as an analyst at a hedge fund, went to work and traded in the S&P, or was in the S&P Fed and on the floor of the CME, and then ultimately got and have been at Top Step for 8 years.
Okay, so you met Danny. You met Danny on the floor then.
Danny Riley.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
All
did.
right.
But anyhow, so essentially, yeah, I mean, when you're talking about capital and you bring up a great point, Dale, is that this is the ultimate, this industry, right? Where the old adage, it takes money to make money, could not be more true than in trading, right? And a lot of people don't have money, right? And or enough money, I should say, to leverage and really make a living out of this. And we saw really a need in that market. And we started out in the future space, backing futures traders, and we saw a real need for it in the Forex space. So we launched Top Step FX. We've been around for 10 years in terms of our genesis. Overall, we've been in the FX space for a couple years now. And it's been really successful. And really our model is to give those people that don't have the ability to have a large account or really even just want to take risk off. Sometimes, people don't want to be in the live markets because things aren't going well or whatever the case is. So the way our model works is it's really unique in the sense that we have an evaluation where we evaluate your trading performance in a real-time simulated account. And if you can meet our criteria, we will back you with our capital to trade for our prop firm. So we're essentially going to seed you and give you money. So it's really this model of, just show us, prove you can do it, and we'll take the risk, and then we'll split in the upside on the profits. So
how long do they have to go through this process to where that they're worth taking the risk to fund?
Sure.
Like guys that have been through it or ladies that have been through it before, how long does it usually take them if they have the skills to be funded?
Right. So we have no limit in terms of days, or no minimum in terms of, how it works.
Okay.
If you do make it in one day, it never happens. I mean, maybe it's happened once, and we still put our money up, and obviously, that may not have been great business on our part, but we do what we say we're going to do, right? So, but most of the time, I would say we see traders that, 30, 60, 90 days, depending upon
Okay.
your style,
Reasonable.
what type of size you're trading, et cetera. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see right here, we make it, I'm not, I should say simple, not easy. Trading isn't easy by any means, but we make it really simple. And you can see right here on my screen that, our account parameters, we offer a couple different sizes, but essentially, in our middle account size here, which gives you, 300K in buying power in a funded account and in a simulated account when we're evaluating you, we keep it really simple. You have a $2,000 weekly loss limit and, a $2,000 account loss limit. So basically, don't lose $2,000 in a week and don't lose $2,000 over the life of the account and make $3,000. If you can do that, hey, we'll give you a funded account to trade our capital. So we used to have other rules and other risk criteria in place, and we realized at the end of the day, if guys can manage risk and they can show a decent return, we're willing to put our necks on the line.
Let me ask you this. Do you find that people, just like in real life, Conor, trying to get to their goal, use too much leverage, and they're trying to, they don't have patience to grind it out to get to that level? They swing for the fences?
All the time. That may be the number one reason. I mean, I would say, that is over leverage is up there just as much with, I call it over trading. You can call it what you want, but it's essentially not knowing when to stop, right? Guys get down and they don't know when to walk away, and they keep trading and they just keep digging that, that hole deeper and deeper, thinking that, what's the definition of stupidity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? So a lot of times, we recommend, hey, have a loss limit in mind. Like, we give you a loss limit, not on the day, of course on the week, but be judicious about it, right? If you're down $500 in a day and, you only have $2,000 to lose on the week, hey, today maybe isn't your day, turn the computer off, go for a walk, do what you got to do, grab a coffee. But yeah, a lot of times it's just guys that either A, are over leveraged to begin, or it's a combination of both, right? Either A, are over leveraged, or B, just don't know when to stop when they get down.
Okay, thank you. All right. So what else you want to cover in here?
Yeah. So I mean, and how much time? I don't know how much time do we have there, Dale?
As much as you want.
Great, thank you. That's dangerous. But so essentially, like I said, we keep it really simple with, a weekly loss limit, an account loss limit. We've funded, over this year, we'll have already, we funded over 1,200 traders, I believe. So it's a great amount. And we have guys from all over the world. So, that's the one beautiful thing about trading, I think, is that it's the market is the great equalizer, right? I don't care if you're sweeping the floors at Walmart or if you're, have a Harvard MBA. If you, come to the market and you can prove in the market that you can trade, then, you deserve an opportunity. And that's really what we want to provide. Now, in addition to that, we want to work with, companies like ForexAnalytix, because you guys are a perfect complement, because, you're educating the traders, right? You're supporting them every day and giving them the tools and the signals and the things they need to succeed. And we really want to be that funding aspect. So, take what you're learning with ForexAnalytix and what you're utilizing there, and, put it into, an evaluation with us and earn a funded account, because that's our model. We take a profit split after someone gets funded. It's an 80-20 profit split, 80% to the trader, 20% to, the house, to us. So it's very, very generous. And we want you to put, your knowledge to work. You can do it in a live account, of course. I hope some of you are. And but with us, you have the ability to leverage up much more quickly, scale up much more fast, make more money, and that's really one of the main values of what we offer. So just to dive a little deeper, in terms of some of the details of our program, I'm not going to read all of this, but essentially a weekly loss limit, we go by your net P&L. So from Sunday at 4 until Friday at 3:45, don't lose more than $2,000 on your net P&L. We're using MT4, supporting it. We'll soon be supporting MT5, but I assume that's what you guys use and teach on analytics, right?
I don't know. I mean, I trade off an MT4. I'm a dinosaur. So I have a hard time wanting to change it. These guys make fun of me with my tech skills. Anyway, so let me ask you, when people are signing up for this and they're doing this, do they have a place to collaborate with other prop traders? You have like a community setting for people to be able to share ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a private Facebook group where there's a ton of interaction between members. People are sharing charts and talking amongst each other. We do a ton of educational resources where we have a very in-depth YouTube channel where we do a pre-market report, a post-market report, all of those things. But I don't want to step on ForexAnalytix toes too much because
no, you don't. Look, you know what, Connor? We bring in competitors every day for interviews that have their own services. We're only interested in what's going to help advance and edify a trader's career. We don't sweat losing a subscriber, so don't worry about it. Tell your story.
Great.
All right.
And that's why we love you guys and love working with you guys. And I will say that, your guys' stuff is amazing. So
thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
Best team I've ever been part of, and I'm not a rookie.
No, definitely. I mean, when they say analytics, they mean analytics. I mean, you dive deep in every market. Yeah. So, and here's, a couple of the things that I touched on, why are these things important? Adhering to a loss limit, it instills discipline and proper risk management. People believe that trading is all about, making money, and they have this dream, and I want to, see, everybody's out there selling the Ferrari, right? Taking pictures on the beach and everything else. Like that's not real life. You got to come in here and grind every day. So, I have something on my desk that I've had since I was on the floor, and essentially it's proper risk management is paramount to profit. And, essentially, that means every time you're going to put risk on a trade, or risk on, and, essentially risk on in the market, meaning anytime you're going to put money on the line in the live market, always think first about your downside, not your upside. Of course you should have a profit target and have that locked in and envision that. But more importantly is where are you going to put that stop limit? How much are you willing to risk on this trade?
And that's the only thing we can control. We can't control anything. That's the only thing we can control.
Exactly. And, like I mentioned earlier, if you're having a bad day or a bad week, at a certain point, you got to call it. We all have them. I've had many, many of them. All the best traders in the world have had them.
How about decades?
Right.
Oh yeah, you've only got 1.5, or I'll talk to you in about 20 years, bro.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Anyway, it's okay to not trade, isn't it?
Right, and we say, we have something written on the wall in our office that says, always trade for tomorrow, and essentially meaning live to see another day, right? So it allows you to live to trade another day. The markets will be there tomorrow. They're going to be there tomorrow, right?
They will.
And losses can be emotional. Emotions is part of it. We focus a lot here on trading psychology. We put out a lot of content on that. On our blog and our podcast. So it's definitely, and we've had you guys on here too talking about a lot of those things. More, you guys are certainly more in depth in the charting and the markets, and which
it's
is
all
great.
in our heads,
right? But yeah,
the good and bad stuff.
Exactly, 100%. And then same thing with account loss limits. You've always got to recognize and reevaluate when your strategy is not working in current market conditions. Right, market conditions change. So what worked for you yesterday may not work for you today. And there's definitely something to be said for being vigilant and being committed and having conviction in your trading. I certainly agree and respect that. But certainly, you have to recognize that you need to take high probability trades. And I always harp on journaling. You should always have a
Yeah.
journal and journal every day. What were your trade entries? What worked good? How were you feeling at that point? What was the market doing? And go through. And after, 6 months, whatever, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever it is, the interval, if you look back at that history and you review all of those trades, and you go through and you look at your winners and you circle, your really good ones, you're going to see a lot of commonalities there. And you take those commonalities and you put those into, what I consider a high probability trade scenario. And then at that point, you stop taking some of the garbage trades and you only focus on those high probability ones. And you realize that in certain market conditions, I just don't perform well, whether it's me emotionally, whether it's the strategy doesn't work well, if we're not in a breakout session, or if we are in a breakout session, I'm either doing great or bad, or you name it, whatever it is. If volume's really low, I tend to not do nearly as well. Obviously it's going to vary depending upon each person, but you need to self-reflect in this business in order to be successful. And self-reflection is what leads to progress and realizing, hey, here's what works for me. Here's when it works for me. Here's how it works for me. And these are the things, and those are the trades that I'm only going to focus on. And
who do your traders clear? Who do they trade through?
Sure. So we use a broker called Forest Park FX, and then
gosh, we know them.
Yeah, of course. And then equity as well. They used to be Divisa, but equity capital too. So they're a worldwide firm, but yeah, no, Forest Park FX, great guys. I think you've had them on, I'm sure.
They sponsor their webinar. Yeah, we talk about them being a broker of brokers. So they select different clearing arrangements for you, or you just have one?
So one, and that's the equity capital that we clear through.
Okay.
And we actually we give 100-to-1 leverage. So we have the ability.
Don't do that.
Yeah, right.
All right. Anyway,
I know it's dangerous, but it's attractive to some people.
Yeah. So, okay. I know.
But again, if you're at 100-to-1, you use a mini or a micro. Don't use
there you go,
a standard bot. So, but yeah, back to what I was saying. I think that when you get into that mindset of self-reflection and improvement, that really helps you identify when you trade your best. So that's something we really harp on. And then in terms of currency pairs, we offer some of the all of the, I think it's 22, and all of the majors, of course. Not a ton of exotics. Here we go, all 24 pairs. So
okay.
I think that's pretty much what everybody trades with you guys too, right? I don't think anybody trades too much of the exotics, do they?
I talk about this, and you could attest to it, that a lot of people feel they have to have portfolios. Right. But how many guys did you know, Conor, that on the floor that never left that trading pit? They didn't have to diversify in different markets across the board. They knew one market like the back of their hand. They never left the cattle pit. Yep. They knew cattle. They traded cattle, and they didn't have to go, explore what was happening in bellies or anything else, because it only takes one.
Right. And that's why, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I never understood what the value was of having a full badge on the floor, a full meaning that you could go into any pit. And
right. Yeah.
Pit.
Yeah.
And,
I had an IOM.
Yeah. Right. And that's all you need, because, and like I tell people, it's hard enough to know one market well, let alone, 3 or 5 or 10. Yeah. So I definitely think, honing in on one is the way to go. And I know it's tempting if, there's a lot of volatility in another and if things are going slow in yours, but patience is the name of this game, right? I mean,
like Steve Volge says, you screen them all to give you the, 1 or 2 or 3 good ideas. So right. You screen them, but doesn't mean you trade them all.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Screening and then narrowing down, I think is a good way too. Well, yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And we see it in the numbers, right? I mean, we should actually, now that you say that, we should publish a report because, we evaluate thousands of traders. And I'm sure the bell curve is, wild between those that are trading, a bunch of products and those that are
Yeah.
trading a few products in terms of success. So, no, that's a
Okay.
great point. But, we do offer, so whatever you trade, my ultimate point, we offer all of it for the most part, again, unless you're doing some exotics or something crazy. And then we do also offer, we just recently offered gold and silver as well. So you can trade gold and silver.
CFDs.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. And then trying to find out where it was. Yeah, and then we just we require that you can't hold into the weekend. I mean, you can hold throughout the week. You can hold overnight and swing trade, etc. But over the weekend, it's gets a little riskier when things thin out.
Oh
So,
God. I couldn't do that because
no, it's crazy.
I can't relax over the weekend unless I have something to worry about.
Right, exactly. I agree with you. That's all you've been thinking about. Yeah,
All
I'd
right.
be drinking every day. Um, yeah, if I don't
He at
already.
the sign of the trader, man.
Yeah, right. And then, yeah, I mean, when it comes to a funded account, if you're in a funded account with us too, we try to make it, very, very easy and beneficial to the trader. Generous profit split. You keep your first $5,000 in profits. We don't even touch that. I like to think of it as like a little signing bonus, if you will. So if you come on board and you earn that funded account, and say you make 10 grand in your first month, and you want to take the wife and kids or the husband and kids on a little vacation or whatever, or I don't know, water heater breaks down, call us. Hey, I want to take a withdrawal. That first 5K, that's yours. We don't touch it. And then everything after that, you get 80%. We get 20. We let you withdraw at any time. We're not, I'm not the first and the 15th or once a month or once a quarter or whatever the case is. It's your money. If you want it, come and just tell us and we'll process it within a couple of days. You get a dedicated support and risk management team, which is huge. So when you're in a funded account, when this goes unappreciated, is the accountability factor. So we have a risk manager there who's watching your performance, watching your account, and I hear him all day. He'll call you, hey, John Doe, what's going on? What do you like about this trade? This is happening or that's happening. And, just to kind of bounce ideas off of and, hold you accountable, because a lot of times, those habits that do kick in when it comes to over trading or when it comes to over leveraging, it helps to have somebody in your corner who's going to, keep you in check, or, at least a second set of eyes, which again, I think is really powerful.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, with that, unless you want to cover anything else, I mean, I really just wanted to come in here and do an introduction and an overview of our program. I know we've got slated for, I think we're going to be doing these once a month. So definitely we're going to have our trading, one of our senior, we call him our senior performance coach. He's going to come in here and he'll be diving into markets with you guys. I think it's monthly. Or maybe monthly or quarterly, whenever it is, the frequency we're coming on. And he's going to be talking about trading opportunities. He's going to be talking a lot about the correlation of the futures markets with the Forex markets. I think a lot of people don't realize that there's currency futures and there's a heavy correlation between the two. Right. And I think that's an opportunity that goes unnoticed. And I understand, because I know for a lot of Forex traders, the futures markets can be intimidating and complicated, but I believe that, John Hoagland is his name. He'll be able to really dive in with you guys and show you, where the opportunities lie, because I think there are a lot, and I think that's a strategy, or at least an analysis that goes underplayed in this business. So go ahead.
So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? You have contact information?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Do you have a chat or somewhere where you can throw out to everybody?
Yeah, sure. We'll put do you have a link?
Yeah. So, again, if you guys are interested in getting started, you just go to our topstepfx.com, and then right here, you come down, you select, what size trading combine you're interested in. And then, you go to start your trading combine. You sign up with us, you get on our email list. We send out all of our content daily. Like I said, that pre-market report, post-market report, etc. But yeah, it's as easy as, topstepfx.com. And then from there, you'll be in our ecosystem, and we'll show you all the tools and options that we provide. And again, if you're trading, hopefully you're on your way to that funded account. And if anybody has any questions whatsoever, you can get a hold of us at support@topsteptrader.com. And I think I have a trade. And I've got a question here too from Mark. Are those fees to trade your money? Right. So good question, Mark. So these fees right here, this monthly price, this is for you to be evaluated. So you pay, $165 to be evaluated. That's, the real-time simulated account, all the support we provide, the education, etc. And again, if you meet this profit target, don't hit this weekly loss limit, account loss limit, then, you'll earn that funded account. And, really that's just, that's so you have some skin on the what's the word I'm looking for? Skin in the game. Thank you.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you what, when we first started, gosh, about 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago, we had this where we were just doing demos, and we were like, hey, come in, show us your strategy, and we'll back it if we like it. And it was like the wild west, because nobody cared, right? Nobody cares about a demo account. Everybody goes on there and does whatever the hell they want. Whereas, when you have a little bit of an investment, even though it's not much, and you have the ability or, the opportunity of a funded account tied to it, you take it seriously. You take it, almost, if not just as seriously as the real markets. So it's amazing since, we've done that. It's really helped, keep traders accountable and weed people out, if you will, too.
Okay, Conor. Well, really nice meeting you, buddy. And you're now my trading warrior, brother. Everyone I interview becomes one. I have a pretty big family, about 1,000. And really say hi to the whole team for us. And I hope and root for every one of your prop guys that what they see in their mind and the dreams they have in their heart manifest someday with a lot of hard work, because there is no secret to trading. The secret is hard work and perseverance. And it's been great meeting you, Conor, and have a great weekend and a holiday season, and 2020 kick some butt.
No, I appreciate it, Dale. And, you hit the nail on the head. This is a grind, day in and day out. I like to equate it to, if you own a bakery, right? You got to be in there every morning at 5, 6 in the morning. Somebody's got to turn the lights on and operate it all day, and then somebody's got to turn the lights off at night. This is exactly what this is.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly, 100%. Well, I appreciate you guys. Again, I just wanted to give a little orientation into who I am, who we are as a firm, tell you a little bit about our opportunity, and we look forward to doing more and more of these, and really deep diving into the markets, and hopefully providing a lot of value for everyone, because we want everybody to not only improve as a trader, but we'd love to see all of you as funded traders with us.
Okay, Conor. Well, have a great weekend, buddy.
You too, Dale.
And appreciate you being here. And that's going to be a wrap. Conor, I say this at the end of every show because, we all get kind of really obsessed with the markets. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and try and be one for someone else. And it was great meeting you, Conor. Say hello to everyone and have a great weekend. Everyone in F.A.C.E, enjoy, recharge, plan your trades, and we'll see you next week. Adios, everyone.
Thanks, Dale.
You're welcome, Conor.